let's start with our session. So up to till now, going through the revision part, we have read up to the block part. So going forward, we will deal with the methods part. So there is static methods, non-static method, those things we'll go across. Okay. Hello. Yeah, please respond. Okay. Then going forward, this. So I'm just repeating the block part. So in the block, as we can see, there are in three levels. I can use the block. Sorry, there are three types of blocks like static block, non-static block, and local block. Static and non-static block we can place in class level, and in static block, as we know, static have one memory throughout the application. So static block similarly is executed at the class loading, and that logic is common to whole class. As you can see here, that logic is common to whole class. Okay. And for non-static block, if I want to execute the logic at the time of object creation, and that logic is common for all objects, means whenever we are creating one object, then the non-static block will be executed. Then going forward,
Whenever we are creating one object, that object will be valid to all non-static blocks.
yeah,
That you want to say.
yeah, whenever we are creating one non-static object, then for
Hmm.
that non-static object, the non-static block will be executed. Means for each object, one non-static block will be executed. Because we know static block and non-static block, these are not called by the programmer. Static block is called by JVM and non-static block is called by constructor. So whenever we are creating one object, actually whenever we are creating one object, the new keyword is calling the constructor.
Yeah.
So in the internal part, the constructor is calling the non-static variable and the non-static block to execute. So whenever we create a object, then the non-static block is called. So whatever logic inside it, that part is executed. Okay.
Yeah.
But local block is executed when that method is called, then only it is executed, because local block is placed inside a method. Okay. Are you getting, or you have some doubt? You can talk in your
No,
regional
no.
language. No,
In static
if you
block,
have doubt, you can talk in your language. There is no issue.
no, I am talking English. In static block, you have written common logic for database connection, DB connection.
Not always for DB connection. The main part is like common logic is the main part. Have common logic. Nothing that it is for only for DB purpose it is used. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
this is one of the example. One of the
No,
example is
understood.
very. Yeah.
Oh,
So for the non-static block, as we know, that logic is common logic for every object. Okay,
hmm.
common logic for every object. The object part is important. Whenever the actually static block is executed once, and non-static block is executed every time a object is created. Okay, and if you come to the local block, then the local block will only executed when that method is called. Okay, like for static block we have this syntax, and it is executed at the time of class loading. For non-static block we have this is the width. If no keyword is there over a block and that block is placed in the class level, then that is called
Yeah.
non-static block. that similar syntax if I place inside one method, then we it as a call it as a local block. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go forward with the block part of programming, so just creating one program, new, the block types. Oh, I have created one new. Sorry, my mistake. I should have created one class, but instead I created one Java object only. Need to delete this. So in that meantime,
And
if we go forward, like we told to read about the methods. Okay.
have you started the recording?
Yeah, I have already recorded this lesson.
No, but that red mark symbol is not showing.
For some, for some, it going to not
I
responding.
know you are older than me. Your person is also older than me.
Okay. So methods. So like if we go for the method is also known as a functions. Also known as functions. And one more thing, what do we do in the method? Why it is there? Simple. If we have if we have some operation involve some steps, then we can take the the operation name as method name and the steps as logic inside that method. Okay,
Yep.
maybe that STS may be opening. Okay, let's see how the blocks are working. Okay, so I should create one class. That time I created a Java project. The ID is too slow, I think. Going into not responding state like that. Responding, not responding, like this is going on.
There is an active editor that provides an outline.
Block types, test. Okay. In that meantime, how we waste the time? Types. What are the types of method we have? We have static methods. We have non-static methods. These are the two methods based on the execution level modifier. Okay.
Yeah.
But if these two are based on,
Also known as functions in C. Yeah.
yeah, execution level modifiers, we have like, even though that is static, that is static or non-static.
So I told that in project and in
Yeah,
programming session, you will see more of non-static type, non-static variable methods, non-static block type.
yeah,
Statics are not used.
yeah.
Is
Statics
that
are,
right?
yeah, statics are used, but we'll use less because
Yes, I told that only. I
because
will practice more of non-static methods like a non-static variable, non-static blocks.
yeah,
We
because
deal with more non-static blocks.
okay, because we will deal with many customers or many consumers. So for each
Yeah,
consumer, the code should be different. So if we want for each consumer or customer the code should be different, then we should go by the non-static rather than going for the static, because the
static.
static is common for all. But if we go for the non-static, then for each object it will have each type of methods logic. So if we want to have specific method for specific object, then we can go for the non-static part, because for,
Non-static.
yeah, for one object there may be some values are like void or null. Yeah, for one object maybe that variable may have some value. So we should go for the part of non-static, because if we are taking
Absolutely.
static, then it should be common for all. So if it is common for all, then what is the use of having so much consumer? Like take the example of Flipkart. In the Flipkart, the price and the products are same for all. Yes. So that one is specified in static. But some people have like 10% discount. Some people may have 20% discount.
Those who
The,
are plus membership, they have.
yeah, some people are plus membership, so they can use their super coins. So
Yeah,
there we have like for each person, the Flipkart will send some offer or some super coin maybe there that can use there. So it vary from person to person.
they
That's
are
why
non-static type.
those things are non-static. But
Mm,
the products which are available and their price, those are the static things. So
statics.
that is mix up, but maximum we see the non-static part. Even though
Sir
that
told that one, non-static maximum.
even though there is static or non-static method, we can further classify or divide them into like public methods, protected methods, default methods,
Default methods. Private.
private methods. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And these are classified based on what is this? Accessibility modifier.
Modifiers.
Accessibility modifier, not only modifiers.
Accessibility modifiers. I have told that one. But slowly.
Okay. I think this is opened. Okay. You can go here. If I place here a static block, okay,
Static block.
you think how many times this block will be executed?
One time.
Whatever number, whatever number the times I call this class, okay, it will be
Hmm.
executed only one time. Okay. How many times this will be executed? Does this one depend on anything?
Your Chella, real Chella sir, teacher. Sir also write that one. Static block, non static block.
These things are, I think, recorded. So this might go into the YouTube. So your voice will be
Hey,
there, like, so please.
hey, you must have one before it.
You should tell like that only. Just if so, this block execution depend on the number of times I create the object. Number of times the constructor are called, that number of time this block will be called.
Yeah,
Number
executed.
of time the constructor is called, that number of time this block is called. Number of time constructor is called, that number of time this non-static block is called. Okay. So
Yeah.
this is the local block. What is the number of time this block will be executed? Only once, because the
One
main
time. Main
main method
function.
is called only once. So
Hmm.
if I can place in another method, public, let's take static void display. Okay. Here I will keep this same. Stress is a shortcut command here.
In Spring Boot, Systress is a shortcut command for SOPLN.
SOPLN with some of the description that tells about the method name and the class name. If you want that, by default it will do. Or else you can go for sys out if you have empty SOPLN. Local block in display method. So how many times this one will be called? As many times as I am calling the method. Okay. First, let's create call the static one. Static one will be called only once, and we cannot call this one, so it will be executed only once. This one depends on our constructor calling. So if I am placing this statement new block, I am placing it four times. So four time, first time new call this class, second time new is calling the constructor, third time also new is calling the constructor, fourth time also new is constructor calling the constructor. So I have told you the number of times the constructor are called, the number of times the non-static block will be executed. Okay or not?
You have to define the non-static
The
block with some
number
name.
of times, whatever telling your voice is not clear.
In non-static block, you have to define that block with some name, constructor name,
Still
block
not,
type,
still
weight.
not audible.
Non-static block, you have to define that block with some name, class name, or that constructor name what you have told. block type test. Now it's audible.
Audible, but you are asking the question. I think you have not read the part. That's why you are asking. As we can see here, as we know that static block will be executed just once at the time of class loading, and this non-static block in the class level we told if there will be no keyword prior to that, then that is non-static block because it is present in the class level, and it will be called by the constructor only, and it will be called by the JVM only. So if the constructor is calling, so as many times as we call the constructor, that many times this one will be executed. So like here we are calling the constructor four times. So this one will be executed like four times. So for the part of the methods, we have the local block. Local block, the block which is present inside a method. That one is called as the local block. So how many times the local block will be executed? The number of times I'm calling this method. The number of times I'm calling this method, the number of times this block will be executed. So this one will be printed three times, as here three times, and this one will be non-static block will be printed. Non-static block will be printed four times, as we are calling four times the constructor. Okay, let's see the result.